we were asked to represent Ukrainian whistleblowers, some of whom who did not speak English.
As coverage of the congressional impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump continues, you might be seeing more of these two people on your screens.
We're going to take that issue up and others with Victoria Toensing and Joe diGenova.
So who are Joe diGenova and Victoria Toensing?
We are lawyers.
Joe diGenova and Victoria Toensing are longtime Republican operatives and attorneys who frequently appear on Fox News. They've been married since 1981. Both also called for Trump to pardon former White House advisor Scooter Libby, who was convicted of perjury and lying to federal investigators in 2007.
Remember Scooter Libby, my client who the president pardoned. There was no crime. Valerie Plame was not covert.
Trump pardoned Libby in 2018. Together, they are best known for pushing misinformation and debunked conspiracy theories, including about the Benghazi witch hunt.
The security was unacceptable. And who made that decision? Hillary Clinton did. The ambassador asked for more security.
And the Mueller investigation.
Bob Mueller had a telephone with him, a cell phone. He left that cell phone in the Oval Office, and it is now believed by many people that the cell phone was used to broadcast the meeting between the president, Rod Rosenstein, and Bob Mueller.
Both were active in boosting the right-wing media narrative surrounding Hillary Clinton's emails.
This was a plot, a brazen plot, to exonerate Hillary Clinton in the email server case to ensure that she became president.
Now, diGenova is calling the impeachment inquiry against Donald Trump regicide.
This is about regicide. This is about stealing an election from the American people, stealing an election from Donald Trump.
Well, they've already done it once.
And they're both promoting conspiracy theories about the Ukraine investigation, a scandal they're both caught up in.
And I refuse to call them whistleblowers. These two non-entities are suicide bombers that the Democrats have unleashed on the democratic process.
One guess, Sean. Who funds OOCRP? George Soros.
Turns out, Rudy Giuliani, Trump's personal lawyer, asked the couple to help gather opposition research on Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. The two deny they were ever working together.
Two high-profile Washington lawyers, Joe diGenova, who's been a fierce critic of the Democratic investigation, and his wife, Victoria Toensing, were working with Giuliani to get Oppo research on Biden.
So just how deep does this rabbit hole go? Toensing and diGenova's law firm hired Lev Parnas to serve as a translator for a case involving Dmitry Firtash, a Ukrainian oligarch with ties to organized crime. We'll get back to that in a minute. Parnas is a con man with direct ties to Rudy Giuliani's disinformation campaign about Democrats and Ukraine. He was arrested at the airport before flying out on a one-way ticket to Europe. Parnas reportedly told others the trip was to set up an interview between corrupt former Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin and Fox News host Sean Hannity. diGenova and Toensing also represent Dmitry Firtash, a business associate of Paul Manafort, Trump's former campaign manager. Firtash is fighting his extradition to the United States on bribery charges. He's also a key figure among Trump associates doing opposition research on political rivals. Firtash paid diGenova and Toensing $1 million to uncover dirt on Joe Biden. Toensing and diGenova also represent John Solomon, who is now a Fox News contributor. Solomon published several stories containing information direct from Dmitry Firtash's legal team as part of a coordinated disinformation campaign.
George Soros has a very large footprint. In fact, he had a group called the Anti-Corruption Action Center. It was jointly funded by the State Department, that embassy in Kiev, Ambassador Yovanovitch, and George Soros.
And Solomon even admitted that diGenova and Toensing introduced him to Parnas, leading the two to work together.
We know that John Solomon began to write articles in The Hill quoting the prosecutor in Ukraine, Lutsenko, who Giuliani had been connected with by Fruman and Parnas.
They also boasted about being central figures in Trump's decision to fire Marie Yovanovitch, the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine.
Yovanovitch was thwarting any investigation and telling people, don't do anything the United States wants you to do because Trump's going to be out of here.
The U.S. ambassador, mind you.
U.S. ambassador,
Yes.
we got on your show and tried to get rid of her, remember?
I do remember,
and we did.
Indeed. Victoria?
As the impeachment inquiry into President Trump continues, it's pretty clear that we won't be seeing less of Joe diGenova and Victoria Toensing anytime soon.